Yay! Hi, anti-society. Hello. It's been so long since I went live that I feel like I'm gonna be slightly weird for a good chunk of this. Sorry, just like the moment I clicked live, I could hear my dad banging something. Just like random noise outside. It's probably fine, right? How is everyone on this evening? I see that some people have been in the chat before the stream started. Hello? I'm always slightly panicked now that I won't see the actual chat update because it has happened before in previous moments. So I'm always like looking up the chat in other places so that I can actually see if you guys are trying to talk to me. If my phone wants to load it, that could be an entirely different conversation. Anyway, hello. How is everyone? Am I buffering? Or is that just me? I never know. Yeah, some of it's me. Oh well. It wouldn't be one of my live streams without a little bit of buffering and weirdness. Hello, Oscar. Hello. Oof. I'm sorry if it's really bad and laggy. I don't know why. I really won't know until playback because sometimes the preview is weird. And then and then it's fine in the playback. Yes, all of the dirt faces live for anyone who wants to see them, Oscar. I expect more to be added to the tier list. Hi, Blur. Hello. How is everyone? It is very cold here in Canada. I'll just say that. It's actually not that cold, but it feels cold because it's like the beginning and I'm not acclimatized to it yet. Hello, Piper. Hello. It's been so long since I went live. It feels weird and also like nice, but also like the previous times when I just went live, I was like reacting to stuff and now I'm just like here as myself. And I'm like, what do I do that's entertaining? I don't have a plan. I was just sort of impulsive. Decided to come on and chat with you people. So, hello, Anti Society. It's cold where you are too, Piper? I mean, it's not cold yet in Canada. I feel like I'm overreacting. It's just that today was the first day that we had below zero temperatures. So my body's like not ready for freezing temperatures yet. I'll get used to it. By this time, like 2 months from now, I'll be fine. I'll be like, remember when it was like -1 degrees? What a nice day. Polyron put on a play? I don't remember any of my plays. I used to be able to do Shakespearean soliloquies because I had memorized them for plays, but I don't have any of that in my brain anymore, I don't think. I have like bits and pieces, but nothing in its entirety. Or I would recite. It all went out of my brain when I went to university and I had to put new stuff in. I know Nightbleed said it was like midnight right now, so they're not gonna be here. So I know for some people, this is like later than I usually live stream. So I totally understand if some people are like not around, usually like who I usually see in the live streams, because it's probably late for some people. Minus anything is very cold. Are you? It's minus Celsius. So if you're thinking Fahrenheit, that's much colder than what I'm talking about. But yes, it gets really cold here in Canada. We usually have at least a couple of days where it's like minus 30 once you get into like January, February. Yes, I am near the I've started the 260s. In that I've seen one episode. I've seen 266 um of Bleach. I haven't watched into like the actual episodes yet. But the last part of the Arrancar arc, I'm excited, worried. There's a lot of adrenaline involved in how I feel about the end of this arc because I do want to see like a bunch of stuff kind of get wrapped up. I know that there's possibility that like stuff won't get wrapped up because I know that there's like more show and also like new stuff coming out. So, yeah. I'm also trying to prepare myself for like not getting closure on stuff as well. Warm in Florida, Joseph, I would think so. Florida is way closer to the equator. I haven't been to Florida in a very long time. I think it was too hot for me actually. The time I went to Florida, I I was ill because of the heat. My body doesn't know what to do with warmth. Prepare for trauma? I mean, I'm almost like procrastinating getting into this part of Bleach uh because of the trauma. Like I don't know if I'm ready. Like I already had to deal with Vinland Saga, which made me cry already. So I'm like, I'm already in a fragile state. It can get cold in Florida, does it? 50 is like, I guess it is pretty cold actually. If I remember how Fahrenheit works, which I might not because I never have to use it. Okay, Piper, you're UK, so Celsius like a normal person. Your cold is 11? It's 11 right now. At least last time I looked at the weather, that's what it was. Which isn't that cold. That's like you can put like a sweater, go for a walk, as long as there's not a bunch of wind. Polyron, you'll take the US heat over Canada's warmest cold day? I mean, it gets really warm in Canada too, because it gets humid, because there's a lot of water here. So it's a very like humid heat, which is not great either. I don't like feeling like the air is soup. Just like it's hard to breathe. Oh, we got two people talking about Florida. Because we got Joseph and we got Luke. It's very different from Canada. I'm not even in like the cold parts of Canada either. I live in like the southern parts of Canada, which are like relatively warm. Is 50 degrees Fahrenheit 10 degrees Celsius? Like, isn't 70 like freezing though? So that would mean that 70 is 0 degrees Celsius. Unless I I have no idea what I'm talking about, which is entirely possible. Do I think it's hot or cold in Huecomundo? I think we had a conversation about this. Maybe not in like the actual episodes, but I feel like I was talking to someone in the comments. I feel like it was Fracked. But I was talking to somebody about whether or not it was cold or hot because I was talking about how like deserts can be either. Like technically they're both. Like it gets really, really cold at night in the desert and then it gets really hot in the day. But you can also like ice there ice deserts exist too, like snow deserts are also a thing. Um so I want to say it's cold because it's always like nighttime. Like the only sun that exists is the one that Eisen made. So I'm gonna say that Huecomundo is cold. But also, like, I have a lot of questions about like how Huecomundo works. So I could be entirely wrong. Like, why is there a moon? Because if there's a moon, then that means it has to be a planet of some kind. Anyway, I have a lot of questions about like the physics of Huecomundo, which is probably not something I should be asking in a world where magic exists. So, you see, Canada, like, we'll take 10 degrees. That's like a nice day. It's been about that for like the last month here, so. Blur, you're in San Diego? That is also warm? I assume everything in the US is warm relative to to Canada. I think like New York is warm compared to where I live, so 32 Fahrenheit is 0? Is it? I was way off then. I don't know how Fahrenheit works. I don't understand the logic of Fahrenheit, so I never use it. It requires me to do math. So I never voluntarily do math. Yeah, I think Oscar, I think Fract is probably asleep. What time is it in France? I don't actually know. I could look it up though. I only ever know what time it is in like certain places. What time is it in France? Ooh, from Texas. Hello, Texan person. There. Oh, yeah, it is 1 in the morning in France. Yeah, so Fract is not here, probably. They're probably asleep, or I hope they're asleep. Unless they're a night person, then I guess they can be awake whenever they want to. I'm a morning person, so I don't understand being awake late at night. Yeah, lots of people from the southern states. I don't I haven't been to a lot of places in the southern states. I haven't traveled a whole lot anyway, except like within Canada. And even then limited, because Canada's too big. Oh, Piper, you don't know like AC very much? And I guess yeah, it doesn't really get I'm like sometimes it gets hot in the UK, but like not really. I suppose also the UK probably has like more like older buildings. So I don't know how easy it would be to hook up those to AC. I haven't been to the UK, so I would not know. I'm gonna try and not yawn. I keep yawning in my actual videos, and I feel bad because I know whenever I see someone yawn, I yawn. And I feel like it's like really annoying if I start yawning. Yeah, I would think everyone would have AC in Texas. Everyone in Ontario, Canada has AC. So I assume people in Texas would as well. I just assume it's hot there. I have not been to Texas. I haven't traveled, like, basically, I haven't traveled in a long time. I used to go on like road trips when I was a kid, but then I was a university student and I just like went to classes and worked and stayed in the city where my university was. So, and I could possibly be traveling uh after I graduated if the world could just calm down the slightest bit. Who is my favorite captain so far? Favorite captain. I feel like the captains are like harder to pinpoint than like the lieutenants. I feel like the lieutenants are like easier to like humanize. I feel like they're like more youthful. They kind of like interact more with each other and with other members of the squads, whereas like the captains are a little bit more guarded. Like they're a little bit more detached from that just because they like have other stuff going on and they've lived longer and they've been through more stuff. Um Favorite captain. Oh, that's such a hard question. I feel like maybe for some reason my brain wants to say Ukitake, and I don't really know why. I think it's just because he's sweet. He's just like nice and calm, and I feel like he is like the most genuine without it being like I don't know. I feel like Kampachi is like a genuine, but he's like very aggressive, and like Mayuri is genuine, but he freaks me out. So I feel like Ukitake is the one that's like the most straightforward and just like I don't know. There's like not a lot of like um pretense and stuff like that. I feel like he's just is who he is. And I feel like if I had a problem, if I needed to go to someone to help me, it would be Ukitake. Because the other ones I'm a little bit suspicious of. The more I see of Shinsui, I'm just like, there's something. There's something with him. I don't know what it is, but there's something. Yeah, Piper. Like I was gonna say like before, like when you said not a lot of people in the UK have AC, I was gonna say like, oh, I guess it doesn't get that hot there, but I'm like, recently though, there's been news of it getting really hot in like the UK and Europe and stuff like that. Favorite fight that I've seen so far. Favorite fight. That's such a hard one to answer. On what grounds? Favorite fight in terms of like, because Bleach kind of does two different things. It does like coolness factor, and then there's like character growth. And I feel like I have a different opinion depending on which one it is. I feel like if it's like coolness factor, I like Ichigo versus Grimjo. Because I feel like I just love Grimjo's fighting style so much. And the animation was just really cool in that. Whereas if it was a character thing, I think my favorite is still Renji versus Byakuya. Because that fight got to me. That fight I'm still like living through the trauma of. Hi Grammy. Welcome. Yeah, I agree. The crunchy sopa. I always like trip up on your name and I know why. But yeah, I think Ukitake is like, I don't know, he's just chill, he's just like drinking tea, he's just hanging out, being nice to people. So I feel like if I had anything stressful going on in my life, anything that I needed help with, I would go to him. Whereas the other captains, I don't know. And some of them still need to be replaced, I guess, because they betrayed everybody. So there's that too. I feel like I'm always more drawn to the lieutenants, so it's harder to talk about the captains, especially since I feel like we haven't fully learned about them yet. Like I feel like going into like this last section of the Arrancar arc, I might learn a little bit more about them as they like get to fight and interact, and we usually end up learning a lot about characters through like the conflicts they choose to fight and stuff like that. So I feel like I'll learn more about them, especially as we get into like more and more like hype fights, like stronger opponents and stuff. I feel like captains up to this point don't really need to get involved a whole lot in the conflicts, so they kind of take a step back. Maybe that's why I find them a little bit elusive, because they haven't needed to be part of the story really. What are my thoughts on Vinland Saga so far? I cried. Not in the reaction that's up. You'll see it in the next reaction. It goes up Tuesday. That I cried. So there's that. It's a little bit like I don't know if it's like more intense. I mean, I guess it is because it doesn't have like the censorship of like Bleach. So like the fights are like more intense just from like an action gore standpoint. Um, but like also I knew immediately that it was just gonna rip my heart out. Like I was like, oh no, like we have this small innocent boy who just wants to go on an adventure, and I'm like, the world is going to crush you. I just know it. So I like it. I like it, but it's making me go through a lot of stuff emotionally from the very beginning. So, and I'm assuming it'll only get worse for me. I assume it'll only get harder for me to like see characters in difficult situations. Yeah, many of the captains were pretty nerve-wracking to like actually go up. Yeah, see, a lot of them would I just wouldn't want to go up and talk to you because they would just be so intense and intimidating and like I feel like and they would have like so much like spiritual pressure and like yeah, they would just be intense to be around. Like as much as I like have gotten more and more of a soft spot for Kampachi, it's mostly because I'm just like I'm glad he's on our side kind of thing. Like I'm glad that he is on the side of like Ichigo and like other characters that I care about and not like an opposing force anymore. I don't think I could be anywhere near him in real life. I would just be too intimidated. On a scale of 1 to 10, how obsessed am I with Bleach right now? Uh I feel like I don't know because don't come at me, but like not a 10 because I don't feel the need. I feel like when I really get obsessed with the show, I end up like needing to binge it. And I feel like that's not where I'm at right now with where the story currently is. There have been moments where I've like legitimately sat down and I've watched a bunch of episodes of like I've recorded a bunch of stuff in one day because I'm like I need to know what happens. But I think like right now probably like a more in like a 7-8 range. Like I can't go a day without watching it. Really, but and it's just kind of like always living in my brain, but I feel like because the last kind of story I watched was like the flashback episode, which is very like disconnected from the main story, that I'm kind of not as pulled in to that. If that makes sense. I'm sure I'll get there very quickly where I'm just gonna have to like keep going with recording stuff. Uh do I have schedule for my live streams? I mean, this is the first time I've done a live stream in a while. Like a month? Couple of months? So I don't really have a plan for it. I just sort of decided today that I was like, I'm just gonna go live and chat and hang out. I know that people were talking over in the Discord about doing a live stream when I hit 500 subscribers, which is coming soon. Other people asking about doing a live stream on Halloween, which is also it's like in a week. It's also a possibility. I don't know. Do you guys want regular live streams? I I don't have a set schedule, so you guys let me know if you want me to have some kind of schedule for that. I feel like maybe it should be earlier in the day than now though, because there aren't as many people here as there are when I've done other live streams like earlier in the day. You should watch Vinland Saga. You should start watching it so that you can come and watch it along with me and understand my pain. I mean, I don't know if I can fully recommend it because I'm only 4 episodes in. So there's still like a lot of stuff that like we've just like really gotten into the conflict of the show. Like the proper conflict that's going to be like I'm assuming what's important for like the rest of the series, like the motivation for the characters and stuff. So I can't like properly recommend that you watch Vinland Saga, but you can watch it along with me if you want to. There's a second season coming out at some point in the near future, if I remember. I'm not good at keeping up with stuff that's like currently coming out in anime because I I don't usually watch shows as they're airing. I usually just wait until the season is done. Piper, you've only seen up to episode 20? Ugh. We gotta be careful not to spoil stuff, guys. Be mindful of the chat for Piper's sake, so that we don't ruin anything. Because it's about to get into some really good stuff. Yeah. Crunchy Zoba, you should be watching my reactions. That's why you should be watching Vinland Saga. It was like simple question. Um but yeah, you guys let me know if you want regular live streams. Um I was for a little while back when I was trying out live streaming more. Um I think I somewhat improved my internet connection. So this is also kind of a test to see what happens. I'm hoping it's all right. I think it might be buffering a little bit, but hopefully not as badly as before. My computer's fan just got really loud. As I said that, I'm like, things are working out better. Cue my PC overheating. Piper, there are so many shows that I have on my list of stuff to eventually get into watching. Um, I've definitely got a lot of stuff that I'm going to check out eventually. It's weird right now, like it's slow right now because I'm trying to catch up with Bleach because I really do want to be able to watch the new episodes when they come out. Um, because if I have to wait and try to not get spoiled for stuff, I'm gonna like have a heart attack or something. So once I'm caught up with Bleach, which is gonna be soon, it'll be by the end of the year, then I'm gonna have like more time to do other stuff. It's gonna be crazy. You guys are gonna have to vote so much in the Discord for new shows and like new stuff on the channel come like December because there's just gonna be like 3 days that I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with them. Obviously, we'll still have some Bleach because I'll be going back to like filler stuff. But it's gonna be I'm kind of intimidated about like how to pick a bunch of new stuff that's gonna be on the channel. I'm not good at decisions, like, and I have like so many things that you guys have suggested to me and like stuff that I just want to check out and stuff like that I don't know, paralysis by too many choices, I suppose. Favorite keto I've seen so far? I don't know keto super well. Um, Favorite keto. I feel my brain wants to say the one that Hinamori used that was like the cage thing, but that might just be because it's like in my memory. And I'm not going to go into any more detail because Piper. But the cage thing. That was cool. Petition for me to read the manga? I will read the manga, Oscar. No petition needed. Um, I I will be reading the manga. I can't post it on YouTube, so it's something that is going to have to uh wait for a little bit. I have plans for it though. Don't worry. We'll get to the manga. Um, I'll have to I'll have to figure out whether you guys want me to like read it in color or black and white. I think we might have discussed this in the Discord about like whether you guys preferred color or black and white in general, and I think color was the winner. Um, but I'll ask like closer to when I'm actually gonna sit down and record me reading it. Yeah, Piper, the way that I was doing it is I was kind of picking. I picked like last time I did when they picked Vinland Saga to be on the channel. I picked like three of kind of some of like the top of my list because I have it like chronologically, where it's like the top is like the stuff that was recommended first, and then worked my way down. So I think we will kind of get to the stuff that's near the top of that list first, and kind of slowly vote our way um to later on. I feel like we might do Demon Slayer, but I know that people wanted me to wait with that one until like there was a second season or something. There's something about wanting people thinking that it was okay if I waited to do Demon Slayer. Because we were discussing about how Demon Slayer didn't win the vote in the Discord and Vinland Saga did, because I was like almost certain that Demon Slayer was gonna win as like the next show that was on the channel, and then Vinland Saga just won by like multiple votes. Like it wasn't even like a close draw or anything. So we'll have to wait and see what ends up on the channel. I think we'll definitely have at least one more webtoon. I would like to add another webtoon to the channel alongside Tower of God, just because I kind of want to, I don't know, even out that a little bit. So it's not like a bunch of anime and then one webtoon. Plus, I like webtoons. I was reading them earlier. I spend a lot of time on that. I like going on my teacher rants about how comics work. So that'll probably be one of them. And then some anime, I guess. Bleach colored manga looks so crisp. Yeah, I've seen some of it. People posted some of it in the Discord, so I have seen parts of the manga, select panels of things. Usually if there's like a fight or there's something that's like obviously different between the manga and how it was adapted into the show, it'll get posted over on the Discord. Oh, I have to shift my position. I hurt my foot this weekend, so I'm like having to slightly shift how I sit so that I don't put a bunch of pressure on it. Out of the anime I've seen, do I have one that I disliked the least? Like an anime that I've watched that I did not like. I mean, I didn't get Tokyo Ghoul either. I feel like from the way I've heard it, the manga is better. I only watched like a season of Tokyo Ghoul. I like the aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of Tokyo Ghoul. I didn't get pulled into the story very much. Or the characters a whole lot. I don't say I disliked it necessarily. It was just kind of like lukewarm for me. I think that's kind of where I go. I don't usually like hate an anime that I watch, because I usually know within like the first episode or two that whether or not I'm gonna like it. But there are ones that I don't like. The one that I disliked the most. The ones that are coming into my head are like really popular, and I feel like maybe I shouldn't say for the sake of not hurting someone's feelings if it's like their favorite show. But there are some popular big shows that I don't enjoy very much, and stopped watching. And sometimes I get asked to watch them for the channel, and I'm like, I don't know how to tell you that I'm not gonna ever do this show or anything connected to it. Because I don't want to watch shows that I'm not gonna enjoy. And I feel like people don't want to watch that. Like, you don't want to watch someone react to your favorite show and obviously not like a big show, but I have not seen Seven Deadly Sins. I can't tell if I'm actually buffering or if it's just the preview that's. Oh, it froze? Okay. There we go. Sort of back, maybe? We'll see if it comes back. Oh, maybe it's back. Derpy. I'm like waiting to see if it'll come back. Maybe. Maybe. This be interesting for anybody who joins in now. Ooh. Maybe it'll come back. We'll see. Maybe. It's sort of glitchy on my end. It's like really glitchy. Oh, maybe it's better now. Nope. Spoke too soon. I'll wait for it. I'm like coming in and out. Is it normal now? I don't know. I can never tell if it's like. I can never tell if it's like the preview just buffering or if the stream is buffering. Maybe. I have to like wait for the like preview to catch up to where I am in real time anyway. There's always a delay. Maybe. We'll see. I started talking about popular shonen I didn't like. I can't end up talking about the shows I don't like because the stream doesn't want to work. The internet gods said no. I really can't tell. I like the preview is like on my end is frozen, but I think OBS says my connection's okay, so I may make the assumption that it's fine until further notice. The joys of live streaming. I know. The internet gods were like, they're trying to protect me. from revealing the shows that I didn't like. And were trying to protect me from all of the angry otakus that would come after me. Which reveal surprised me? I feel like I shouldn't say anything, Oscar, because I know Piper isn't there yet, and I don't want to ruin anything. I think Aizen is the only character that's like emotionally scarred me, though. I think I'm still not over all of the stuff that happens with Aizen, so I'll leave it at that, so I don't ruin anything. Uh, why don't I have 600 subscribers yet? Um, the right people haven't come yet. That's why. They'll find it. New people find the channel every day. I mean, there's over 600 people who come back and watch my videos subbed to the channel. But there's over 600 that watch my videos regularly. If that makes any difference in this conversation. Oh, Seven Deadly Sins? I said I hadn't seen it. So I have no opinion about Seven Deadly Sins. Because I have yet to watch any of it. I'm like paranoid that because my preview's still buffering, and I'm gonna assume that you guys can hear me from the fact that the chat's still moving. Yeah, people seem to really like Seven Deadly Sins. I just never sat down to watch it. But considering that I've already said that there are some popular shows that I am not a fan of, I don't always trust when people tell me that a show is good. Because I don't always like it. Season 3 didn't have the animation down. Isn't Seven Deadly Sins a Netflix show, though? Don't they have all of that sweet Netflix money to spend on animation? I mean, maybe they don't. Isn't Marvel taking a bunch of its shows now on its own, like, up for Disney? So maybe they don't have the budget anymore. Is there a manga for Seven Deadly Sins? I don't know if it's an adaptation from a manga or if it's like a manga that came afterwards. Oh no. Piper, you didn't get the animation you wanted? That's sad. I mean, that's kind of how I felt about, not animation-wise, but the second season of One Punch Man was just very underwhelming compared to the first season. Like, the first season was so cool. It was so good. Like, it was so over the top, but in an amazing way, like a very self-aware way. And then the second season came out and it just, like, didn't quite get there. Like, I feel like I understand what it wanted, but it didn't quite commit to it, which was disappointing. I mean, And it's hard to like compare the animation because there's different studios. So I feel like it's not really fair to talk about the animation in terms of like season 2 versus season 1 because it's like clearly different styles. Like they didn't try to like match Madhouse for the second season, which is like fair enough. I mean, Madhouse has a very distinct style to the way that they animate and design characters and stuff that it would be really, really hard to like mimic that in an effective way. So there is a manga for Seven Deadly Sins. I wasn't sure which way it went because sometimes anime comes from manga and sometimes manga comes from anime. So it felt like a fan animation. Oof, that's disappointing. I mean, like that's why I said like second season of One Punch Man. Not a critique on the animation because the animation was fine. Um, but it felt like a fan animation. That would be disappointing. Try to. I don't think I've ever had it where like there's just been like really bad. I mean, I guess Berserk is the only one I can think of. The like 2016 show, which I absolutely refuse to watch because it looks awful. Like just aesthetically, it makes me angry. And I haven't watched any of the episodes. I've also just heard it's bad. Like it's not a good like animation like adaptation of the manga, which is sad because I think it would be really cool to get like a proper like adaptation of like the whole epic as opposed to like the first adaptation that only did like part of the story. Of course, we'll never get an end to it, sadly. Ooh, it was a comic relief scene kind of bad. That's disappointing. Just like generally, it was just like potato for most of it. That would be so disappointing. I would hate that. It's always like you want like consistent animation that's just like a nice standard, and then you put a bunch of animation into like the really cool scenes where like the animation budget kicks in and you're just like, this is gonna be epic. Like you just know that it's gonna be really cool, even if it's just like little details. Um, there's a couple of moments when stuff like I keep thinking of Madhouse. Madhouse does it really well, but I remember watching the Clear Card arc adaptation of Cardcaptor Sakura, and there's just like moments in their animation because they're so much better now than they were back in the 90s that I'm like, just like it's a show that's like not super action packed, so it would just be like, look at the way the skirt is animated. Look at the way the fabric flows. It was just like me marveling at uh Madhouse animation. Potato, yeah. That's what I call it when like the animation budget like falls out. You know, like when you look at like characters in the background of a scene and they're like two dots for eyes or like this weird like low quality animation in the background. My favorite is Studio Bones. Just like looking in the background because they put so much detail into like the like forefront characters and the animation that's happening there, and then like the background is just like the derpiest stuff. It's amazing. Piper, you haven't seen Berserk? It's a trip. It's it's a lot. It's really good. The first adaptation is actually really good, even though it like did not have a budget at all. Like it kind of loses some of its epic scope a little bit. You can read the manga if you want, which is also amazing. And then you can watch Blur Nation's videos that he does where he also reads the manga, which is how I found his channel. Um, but yeah, Berserk is like a just like a really good fantasy anime. So if you want something that's just like really kind of like the darker side of fantasy anime, Berserk is like one of the top when it comes to that. You'll fight anyone who tells you Game of Thrones has a good ending. It does not. I will not fight you on that. I usually just try to pretend it didn't happen. Um, I try to just think of the first few seasons and then let it all become a hazy blur after that. Because, boy, did that show not end well. But, I mean, I guess they kind of had to make it up. You know, we all know, like, show only endings are usually bad. You know, as anime and manga fans, we know that when they try to do their own ending because it hasn't been written yet, that like 99% of the time it's bad. With a few exceptions. But when it happens, it's like miraculous. It's like when there's a good live action adaptation of an anime and we're just like, what happened? Like, we're like, oh my gosh, what do we do with this? What do we do with a good live action adaptation? What do we do with a good anime only ending? So, I feel like maybe we can't fully blame the writers of that show, but I do want to blame them, given their kind of blasé, like, thought process of how writing should work. Um, but yeah, no, Game of Thrones did not end well, but it was fun at the beginning. Isn't there another Game of Thrones show coming out? Like a prequel or something that nobody asked for? But they're gonna make it anyway, because they'll make a bunch of money on it probably. Or it'll tank in like the first season, in which case we won't have to deal with it anymore. And blame the writers. I mean, but let's, like, a moment of respect for the actors though. Like, they tried. Like, they tried to make something out of what they were given, and bless them for trying and sticking it out. My favorite thing is watching the actors from Game of Thrones when they were doing the promotion for the last season, and you can just see that they've lost the will to care because they know what's coming and they're like, it's bad. You just see it in their eyes. If it makes you wonder if there is an adapted material that is superior to the source. Interesting idea. Because usually people are like, the book is better, the manga is better, the original is better. Is there an instance in which the adaptation is better? It might be opinion. You know, some people might, I think it might depend on like which one you experience first. Like, I feel like if you read the book first or the manga first, you probably like that more than the adaptation. Whereas like if you watch the adaptation first, then maybe that's where your heart is for nostalgic reasons, if nothing else. I'm wondering if I know something it was better in adaptation than the source, without being like super biased about it. I don't know. The ones I'm thinking of, I'm like, no, the book was better. Ooh, one I can think of is Les Mis. Not the movie, but the play. the play is better than the book because the book is just very unfocused. Um, which is what happens when you pay people for like per word to write books. You get really, really long books that kind of meander off into lots of different avenues that aren't important to the main story. And then the play like focuses on like the main conflicts, and like very much narrows down the focus of that. Like it really cuts out all of the stuff that's just like weird exposition about history. So the play is better for Les Mis. The movie, well, depends on which movie. There is like a French movie that's like, I can't remember if it's the play, it might be the book. It's like a really long film that is, it's like, I think it's black and white. That's like, I think almost a one-to-one adaptation of the book. But the play is very good. Highly recommend going to see the play if you are into that sort of entertainment. You want to refuse to watch it out of spite? That's how my mom feels about Star Wars. She watched the first like new film that came out about Star Wars because she had seen all of the films in theaters before that point, like all the way back to like the first film, and then she didn't like it, so she refused to see any of the other films after Force Awakens. Broke her heart. Polyron, you think One Punch Man is better in adaptation than the original? I mean, I think maybe like art-wise, definitely, because one is good at many things, but drawing is not. It's not one of the skills. But I mean, they got someone to redraw it, didn't they? When they released it with like Shonen Jump, I think. Somewhere it got released in manga form, and they redrew it. But I think like story-wise and character-wise, it's still pretty much the same. I haven't read it, like the original, like the manga or the original posts of One Punch Man, so I don't know for sure, but maybe it's better. I feel like the original was more of like a joke, and then it kind of adapted into something that was, or like transitioned into something that was a little bit more story focused. But I don't actually know. I haven't read it. You liked the Shadowhunters TV show more than the books? I didn't watch it. I have read the books though. Some of them. There's like a bunch of them now. I remember reading them. And not being super impressed. I like the Infernal Devices better because it's got all that steampunk energy. And I think it just has like better characters. I remember watching the movie, and that was something that I spent some time on. Kind of wish I could get back. I didn't watch the show though. Ugh. I should leave soon though, because I've been here for an hour. And I should finish up some stuff before going to bed. It's been fun though. I missed just chatting with you guys. I know we talk in the Discord, but I feel like this, not everyone's in the Discord, so I feel like this is a little bit more open. It's kind of there for people to come back to in the morning or whenever they have time. You love Campeche in the thumbnail? I know, I found it. Hidden Strength. I found it and I was like, I gotta. Like, it's too perfect to not have as something. I was like, I have to do something with this art. So I used it as my thumbnail. He's just so cute. There's a little eye patch. Ooh. Ramiro, you're watching the first Bleach movie? I cried. Which is the second time I have explained my experience with an anime in this live stream. Yes, Piper, it's late where you are too. Yes, join the Discord. Let me pin that Oscar. Being good mod. Yes, join the Discord if you want to join in all of the interesting conversations we have. Sometimes they're legitimately interesting philosophical existential conversations, and other times it is just puppies, which is also good. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to be in the Discord if you aren't already. I've cried twice. I've cried more than twice. Polyrun. Uh, I've cried many times because of Bleach. At least, I would say like maybe 4 so far, and I feel like that'll only get worse as we get into like the more intense part of the story. But I'm gonna leave now, guys, because I do have some things to do before I go to bed, and it's late in some people's lives, so I don't want to keep you too long. But yes, join the Discord if you haven't already. Thank you for spending time with me. It was fun just chatting, hanging out. I missed this, so do let me know if you guys want me to do this regularly and when that would work for people. Either in the comments of this video later or over in the Discord. You can always find me. So see you guys. I mean, you'll see me tomorrow because Bleach video tomorrow. So see you guys soon. Bye bye. Have a good night wherever you are. Bye bye.